What is going on, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and we received a ton of information in regard to Seasons 2.0, seasonal characters, as well as a bunch of other details. So in today's video, I'm going to take a few moments, go over all of the details the game passed along, and as always, answer some of the questions you've sent the channel. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. And we are having a giveaway for an Xbox Series S. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced July 4th of this year. So we are going to jump right into the information, my friends. And as always, I will leave a link to all of this in the video description down below. That way you can check it out anytime you want. Now, starting at the top, you can see they say the following. Agents, we have heard your concerns regarding the introduction of seasonal characters in the Division 2 with Seasons 2.0 later this year. We want to clarify how seasonal characters will impact your existing main characters and answer a few questions about Season 2.0. They continue by saying the main idea behind Seasons 2.0 is to break away from the current repetitive seasonal model by transforming the entire experience. With your main characters, we need to consider various progressions and power levels, making it nearly impossible to create a well-balanced experience that is enjoyable for all. Starting all players at level 1 ensures that we have a clear understanding of where they are in their progression journey when faced with specific challenges. To put it simply, in order to craft challenges with precision, we need a fresh start. Additionally, seasonal resets bring another layer of excitement since modifiers are phased out at the end of each season, giving us freedom to impact gameplay far beyond what permanent mechanics would allow. We omitted one important detail from the Year 6 introduction. With the revamped seasonal progression, you will have the opportunity to bring your main character into the last 2 weeks of each season, which is going to be known as the intermission. The intermission allows you to revisit your main character with new content and seasonal progression, using your current arsenal for experimentation, strategy, and dominance. At the start of the intermission, all rewards earned with seasonal characters, including SHD levels, proficiency ranks, stash items, and collectibles, will be transferred to your main character. This transfer ensures that your main character will be more powerful than ever and prepared to tackle the season's climax mission with the new master difficulty. Should you choose to experience the remainder of the season with your main agent, get ready to see your favorites in a whole new way. And finally, at the bottom, during this time, the seasonal character will be added to your roster, giving you the option to play the season's climax mission with either your seasonal character or your preferred main character. Now, in my opinion, and once again, please let me know your thoughts. While I like the idea of having an intermission between seasons and being able to use your main character, I do not think 2 weeks is enough time, because if you cannot give people the option of playing with their main character the entire season, 2 weeks is not going to cut it. That's my thoughts. Please let me know yours as well, and as always, I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Moving on, they say in Seasons 2.0, seasonal character progression is significantly sped up, allowing you to reach level 40 more quickly and gain shade levels at a faster rate. This progress will be shared with your main character at the start of the intermission. Expertise upgrades will not be available for seasonal characters. Instead, the Shade Watch bonuses will be increased to account for the missing power coming from expertise. Proficiency can still be earned by seasonal characters and will be merged at the end of the season. Please note that proficiency alone does not impact gameplay. Finally, as a seasonal character progresses to level 40, they will not have to complete the entire campaign again. Instead, they will have the freedom to choose which content they experience without worrying about completing certain missions for specific unlocks. Next, my fellow agents, we are going to talk about the WONI expansion, as a lot of players have a lot of questions. So first of all, is Warlords of New York expansion now free for all players? And the game says the following. The WONI DLC continues to be paid content. The key change that came with the one Endgame update is that owning WONI is no longer a requirement to reach level 40 and access endgame content such as gear, game modes, and manhunts. They then go on to explain what content remains locked behind the WONI expansion, and they say skills, story missions, and the New York map remain exclusive to the expansion. So once again, to be clear, if you have not paid for that DLC, you will not have access to any of those things. The next question is, will we be given extra stash space and or extra character slots? And they say an additional character slot will be added to support Seasons 2.0 along with extra storage space. However, it is worth noting that no extra slots will be added for each individual season. Now that means eventually you're going to need to make a choice and do some crazy inventory management. So right now, when Year 6 Season 2 begins, we all have, let's say, 4 characters, right? And we'll be given a 5th, which is a good thing. However, at the end of Year 6 Season 2, you have 5 characters, one of which is a seasonal character, and if you want to play the next season, you're gonna have to delete something, you know what I mean? So again, my fellow agents, we will see what happens moving forward, but in my opinion, I don't think that is going to change in any way, shape, or form. Now, the next question is one of the main reasons people are very anxious about seasonal characters, because they're wondering, if I can't use my character 90% of the time, why have I spent the last 4 years creating and cultivating this character that is really going to be obsolete once this new system is introduced? And they address it by saying the following. We've taken measures to ensure that both the seasonal and non-seasonal characters have meaningful roles and cool things to do in the game. The current model reinforces the way a lot of players are using some characters as support for their main character at the account level. Seasonal characters serve a similar purpose, on top of facilitating an awesome experience in the season throughout manhunts and modifiers. Additionally, seasonal characters also contribute to the overall account progression, which is represented through power level of the main character. The main character remains the foundation of the account, enabling players to take on challenges at the highest power and difficulty levels. Furthermore, upcoming DLCs will present a chance to take on challenges with your primary character and its corresponding power level. Additionally, only non-seasonal characters will have access to the legacy manhunts. Alright, moving on, the next question is, will there be any new content for the non-seasonal characters? Non-seasonal characters will continue to have access to all existing game content, including both WONI and upcoming DLC. Right now, there are no intentions to introduce another incursion or raid, so unfortunately we got that. Or we don't got that, you know what I'm saying. Will seasonal characters have access to their existing recalibration library? The recalibration library will be shared between seasonal and non-seasonal characters, the only exception being season-specific gear. During the season, you can transfer season-specific gear talents to the library, where they will become accessible to your main character at the beginning of the intermission. Well, that kind of sucks, but okay. Will seasonal characters be able to use account-wide resources materials? No. Seasonal characters will have their own separate pool of shared resources and materials, which will not be shared with the non-seasonal characters pool. Okay, we got that. Let's move on to the next one. When I have all my inventory and stash maxed out, will I lose the loot after the season ends and the seasonal characters merged with my regular roster? They say once the season ends and the intermission begins, you will be awarded a temporary stash to facilitate the transition of the seasonal items to the main pool, and it's up to you to decide what to keep and what to discard or deconstruct during that process. However, please note that starting Year 6 Season 3, if you have items in your temporary stash, you will be unable to create a new seasonal character. Alright, next we have, how will my hardcore characters be impacted? At the start of each season, you will have the option to select either a hardcore or regular seasonal character. The choice provides the opportunity to add additional hardcore character to your roster at the end of the season when the seasonal and main characters combine. Your existing hardcore character will retain its progression, which can be shared at the beginning of the intermission period, the final 2 weeks before the season concludes. Alright, we know that. Next, will seasonal characters have access to global events? They say global events as they are right now will remain exclusive to non-seasonal characters due to their incompatibility with seasonal progression and modifiers in their current state. They will adhere to the established rotation model already present in the game. Seasonal characters may eventually receive their own version of global events tailored to enhance the seasonal experience, but this implementation will occur at a later time. Now, when I look at this, again, let me know your thoughts. I just can't figure out why this is happening. It seems like everything is getting split up. I don't know, but let's keep going. All right, what do we got next? Will the new master difficulty be in any way available for non-seasonal characters? We know that answer is yes, but only during that intermission. Next, why tie the manhunt to the seasonal characters' participation? In Seasons 2.0, the optimal way to experience the story is through seasonal structure, utilizing a character with the appropriate power level to capitalize on features such as gameplay modifiers and seasonal items. The story will be adjusted to accommodate this new dynamic, with multiple agents fulfilling their roles throughout the season. Moreover, after the season ends, players can opt for the climax mission using either their seasonal or primary character. Next, my fellow agents, we have the seasonal journey. What will Seasons 2.0 consist of? There are 15 weeks of varied activities such as seasonal missions, seasonal projects, manhunt scouts, and priority objectives to be completed with your seasonal character, followed by a 2-week intermission period during which you can utilize your main character. Your non-seasonal character can be accessed anytime during the season, but with no access to seasonal content except for the 2-week intermission. Now, the next question is one I know a lot of you out there had, because you're wondering, if I have to create a new character every season, how long is this going to take, you know what I mean? And they say the following: non-seasonal characters will require approximately 45 hours to complete, while seasonal characters are expected to take around 15 hours for the same activities. Now, chances are, and most of you know this, once this goes live later this year, I promise to bring you videos in regard to farming XP to hopefully cut down that time even further. Next we have, will the seasonal grind to level 40 consist of the same current activities, or will it be different each season? Now, they say to reach level 40, the seasonal journey will act as a guide, providing simple and quick challenges that offer great completion rewards, while also aiding the player through unlocking key game systems. Additionally, at every point, players can complete a variety of other activities in the game and get an increased progression rate. Each season will feature unique seasonal modifiers that affect both players and enemy NPCs, providing a different experience in previously played content. The next question is, will players have to reach level 40 to start collecting season rewards? And the game says seasonal rewards are not restricted to level 40. Various rewards unlocked throughout the seasonal journey, season pass, and other in-game systems are granted while leveling from 1 to 40. The Manhunt story will also gradually unfold through collectibles, allowing players to progress step by step. Next, we have what happens with seasonal collectibles during the intermission period, which occurs during the final 2 weeks before the end of the season. All rewards obtained with a seasonal character, such as shade levels, proficiency, ranks, stash systems, and collectibles, will be transferred to your main character. Right below that, we have the question, are we going to have access to the Shade Watch? In Seasons 2.0, seasonal character progression is significantly sped up, allowing you to reach level 40 more quickly and gain shade levels at a faster rate. This progress will be shared with your main character at the end of the season. However, fast progression will only be possible up until a certain level. Upon reaching it, the Shade Watch progression will resume at a normal speed. Finally, at the bottom, and this is a question many of you have, is why can't my existing level 40 character engage in the seasonal content? Now, they say the main objective in Seasons 2.0 is to ensure that all players can participate in in-game content on a level playing field, as well as allowing us to fine-tune the experience based on more controlled progression. Additionally, modifiers and season resets provide levers to ramp up gameplay challenges far beyond what any permanent mechanics would allow, thus avoiding long-term consequences. Last but not least today, my fellow agents, we have PvP, multiplayer, and matchmaking. So for PvP, you can see they say seasonal characters will only be match made with other seasonal characters at an appropriate power level, accounting for the level playing field the seasonal reset brings. They mention that modifiers are a PvE exclusive. And finally, will seasonal characters have a separate DZ? The answer is yes. DZ pools are separate between seasonal and non-seasonal. Finally, at the bottom, we have multiplayer and matchmaking. How will matchmaking change with the introduction of seasonal characters? Seasonal characters will only be able to matchmake with other seasonal characters at an appropriate power level. That's pretty much what we saw a moment ago with PvP, so we're going to see that there as well. And the last question is, how do you plan to balance seasonal and non-seasonal instances? They say if old gear aligns with the seasonal theme, we may rebalance and revamp it. Any changes that are deemed appropriate will also be applied to non-seasonal gear. Our aim is to maintain a balance between seasonal modifiers and seasonal gear. We encourage players to find powerful builds each season. Now, as I start to wrap this video up, I know many of you out there still have a ton of questions that you still want answered, and obviously once I have that information, I promise to bring it to you right away. I'm very happy we actually got some information directly from the game, because as most of you know, it has been a week of speculation. There's been a lot of stuff being tossed around in the community. I'm glad we have some definitive answers, and more importantly, in my opinion, and please let me know your thoughts, we have time between now and when Season 2 begins, and I only hope that we continue to see changes that the community actually wants to see. That is going to do it for this video, my friends. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible support of this channel. I sincerely appreciate the privilege of your time. Please let me know any questions you may have in the comment section down below. And as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.